prepare and we'll go and we'll do our best. We'll put them under pressure. The game is about being effective, being aggressive, winning the ball, getting on with the play. We'll put them under pressure.
Hello, and welcome to the greatest show on earth. It is the greatest channel in the world, and if Philip drank Carlsberg, it probably will be. But yes. Philip, we've got a bit of breaking news, haven't we? Because look, do you want to explain what's happening? We've gone into the transfer market early, haven't we? We're trying to get ahead. This is our plan.
Well, yeah, we knew this guy would be under. There was rumours that Arsenal were after him, so we said we better move in quickly, and grab him before the Gooners got their hands on him and ruined him forever. Whereas we'll do a job on that here in due course. Anyway, we're delighted to advise that Tequila 316 is joining us as a frequent presenter on the channel, and we're still negotiating what company car he gets, but we'll soon find out.
I want to give him a larder. Well, let's see what he has. Here he is, Tequila. Welcome to the Madhouse. Welcome to the family. And is a larder okay for a company car for you?
It'll do for a start. I have arrived, guys. Thfc till I die, and me, we're actually working together now. I'm really looking forward to it, guys.
Yeah. And also, Philip, that's not the only pre-contract signing we've made as well. Do you want to tell people who else has signed a pre-contract with us?
Yeah, Carl, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is going to be doing some work on Twitter and X or whatever you call it this week, putting up social media stuff like transfer rumors and stuff like that. So Carl Simpson will be doing that. So we're expanding the workforce. We need to move to bigger offices, Dermot. THFC towers won't be big enough the way things are going.
No, I know. And if anyone's wondering, Philip is from Leitrim. He is Irish. Because somebody had told me this evening in my local shop, is that fella you work with English? He's not. Philip, can you officially confirm you are Irish?
I am 100% Irish. I lived in England for a while. That's why I've got the accent.
Dermot, I'm English and Scottish. Am I allowed to?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're part of the Celt Army. You're fine. You're fine to kill it.
As long as you're not like General Melchett and Blackadder. You're not Welsh, are you?
No, no.
Yeah, and also Philip. Just very quickly. Hope everyone's well. You didn't see the match last night. All I can say is well done, you.
No, I didn't finish work till 8:30 last night, and I had a chance to see the second half. But when I read the report on how the first half went, I said I couldn't be bothered, so I came home.
Good choice.
I avoided it studiously since. I haven't seen any of the match. I've just watched the comments. I haven't seen any of the match.
Well, we're going to talk about that. Let's see who's in the chat, Philip. We've got Tequila since afternoon, chaps, or evening rather. Here we go, Philip. This is I can't do it because of my throat. You got to take over this little joke.
Good afternoon. Oh no, good evening. Sorry, that time of the week. Hope you're all well. Big up, Tequila. They are Wayne Bonner saying welcome to the channel, Tequila. And his next is saying tick 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 tick. Tick, tick, tick. There's a clock going off. Tick, 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 tick.
Sounds like you're a chicken.
Tick, tick.
Are you a chicken from Clarkson's farm by any chance?
No.
It's just a war cry. That's what Ian. It's just a war cry.
I don't know if anyone's watched Clarkson's farm, but there's one in season 2, I think, where he buys chickens like to lay eggs, and they had bird flu, which means you got to lock all the birds away, right? Somebody told them they had to play them audiobooks because chickens like listening to audiobooks, apparently. But when he opened them up to let them out, what came out? 2 cockerels. With 2 cockerels in with about 100 hens.
A smile on their face, no doubt.
Yeah, there were. Big up. Big up to Carl. Hello, gents, and everyone in the chat. We've got Ian going, Wayne. We've got Tina going, Ian. We've got Ian going, Carl. We've got Carl going, Bungo.
Sounds like a war cry here.
Yeah, big new happening. News. What else we got? We have also got. Well, I won't say hello to everyone. We've got Wayne now saying zippy. You give our chat an inch, Philip. They take a mile.
Only a mile.
There he is. Tequila in the house. We've got Wayne Bonner go. What? I don't even know what that is.
George.
It's begun.
It's begun. It has begun, hasn't it? Together. Yeah. And we've got Dragon D Nuts. Big up, sir. To be sure. Isn't that right, Philip? To be sure.
Yeah, whatever.
We've got Ian saying, G'day, Dermatron and Mr. B. Apparently, people in the chat were asking where you were last night. There's one person called you Philip Kinahan.
Oh, yeah.
And then they sent another nickname for you, Philip the Monk Kinahan.
Right, okay. Well, right. Thank you for that. No, I had an unavoidable meeting last night at 7, so I wasn't finished till 8:30. So, as I said, that was the end of it. I didn't bother watching the rest.
Wayne Bonner went, what? They opened the door and there were cocks in there? Is this a rude rainbow stream? No, it's not. No.
Chicken porn.
Chicken porn. And Carl says, does this mean, Tequila, I have to behave now? Tequila, does he have to behave?
When on stream, we have to behave a little bit.
Not a lot, though. Not a
lot, but a little bit.
Look, I'll go through the topics. This is what we are talking about today, guys. We're going to talk about Chelsea versus Tottenham. Was Ange right to take the blame? Is the Ange honeymoon over? Ralph Ragnick says no to Munich. So that he's not going there. And we've got the Premier League preview that meant to say not review. Look, I'll start with you, Philip. Ange, everyone's seen the clip. Have you ever seen him that angry on the touchline before?
No, if there's one thing I would have liked to have seen more from Ange up to now was a little bit more passion on the touchline. Like he is very reserved the way he conducts himself. which in a way is a good thing, because you don't want him to be like a raving lunatic like Lego Man, totally over the top every 5 minutes. But last night, and I've seen that little bit of a clip, he was quite right to blow a fuse and go ballistic. Yeah. Because, he should have done it against Arsenal in the first half as well. But I'd say the Arsenal game was a lead up that prompted him to do it early last night against Chelsea. The players need to know that the manager's not going to stand for that type of performance. It's not good enough. Not good enough.
No, it wasn't good. And Tequila, look, we watched it. I think every one of them should be ashamed of themselves. They weren't fit to wear the shirt last night, were they?
Well, by the way, why the blue shorts last night? What was the problem with those? There was no clash with all blue.
Dermo, I said this to someone last night, and it was about and I went over the players you'd played, right? Mm-hmm. And there's nobody in the group of players really who have that Tottenham love. I think the only one maybe is Sonny, right? Other than Skip, there's nobody homegrown. So I just wonder to a lot of these players, do they care or do they realise how big a deal it is losing to Chelsea? I'd like to believe at least some of them have an inkling about losing to Arsenal, but they didn't seem to care. You can always take a loss, right? We're all big enough to take a loss. Sometimes it's not your day. But where was the fight? I didn't see any fight, and I just can't get my head around the fact there's just no fight.
No,
it's a good point.
Very good point. Philip, do you think the players? We've seen this before, haven't we, guys? Under Conte, under Poch, under Mourinho. Did you get a little bit of last night, Tequila? I know you haven't, but from what you've seen on social media, Philip, that. Are we going down the same path before, or does the club have to come out? This is our man. As Dave said to me today, they have to come out and back Ange.
Yeah, well, they will back Ange. They will back Ange because the knee-jerk reaction from a lot of the fans wanting Ange out. I mean, it's just pure ridiculous. I mean, you don't. Rome wasn't built in a day. That's the way I keep saying it. The fact that we're fifth in the league is quite an amazing achievement. With the way we were this time last year. But do you know what I think? The most important appointment or signing the club can make this summer is a psychologist to get inside those players' heads and instill a winning and a tough mentality in their mindset. There's too many, I won't say weak spirits there, but there's too many guys give up too easily. I'm saying that was Dave Mackay. He'd be giving them a Glasgow kiss around the back of the stand for the way they played last night. You want players to die for the badge. I don't think we have enough of them. You're quite right in saying that. Sonny certainly would. And I get the feeling someone like Mickey van der Ven is getting there. But there's players that haven't bought into it yet. And we need to have everybody bought into their system. And said it during the week, he didn't think all the players were buying into his tactics full time. And it showed. Now, I didn't see the game first of all, but from what I've heard, it showed last night. To go to Chelsea and run up the white flag so quickly is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, Tequila, what were you going to say?
I was just wondering, Phil's obviously seen a lot more games than I and you, Dermo. And I'm just wondering if he is that an issue that maybe there's just a lack of determination, and that's the key word for me, determination in the group. I think Romero has it.
Yeah,
but I'm striking my head to think of others.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's a great team spirit there. You can see that evident when they scoring late goals and everything. But the euphoria of scoring a late winner is going to bring any team together, no matter how close or far away they are. For that few minutes, it looks great on the pitch. They might be talking to each other when they get to the dressing room. So, yeah, there is a need for instilling a winning mentality and a gritty mentality, a never say die mentality, which up to a point we've had this season. But there's just something lacking. And I hope I can bring that in. And I said, if there is a psychologist on the book, get rid of him, get one that can do his job right.
I mean, look, I've supported Tottenham 43 years. Tequila, how long have you been supporting Tottenham?
About 27.
Right, 27. How many years have you been following Tottenham, Philip?
Almost 60.
Right. In all the teams we've watched over the years, the successful ones or the teams that have done well, can you go back to the 80s from like me, the 90s for Tequila, even the 60s and 70s for you, Philip? Could you ever point a finger at Tottenham side? They don't care. They're not trying. I don't think you could. I think the players today are too weak-minded.
I think the players today are too well paid for a start, right?
Yeah.
Now, I remember back when I first started going to see Tottenham, right? It would have been in the mid-'60s. And I was living in Birmingham at the time. I never got to White Hart Lane through the years after that. But my dad used to bring me to see Spurs play at Villa Park, St Andrews, the Hawthorns, and maybe occasionally Molineux. But that was a rarity, right? It's no doubt, in those days, this would be 65, 66. This after the double side, but before the cup-winning side. Spurs away from home were absolutely shite. We were virtually unbeatable at White Hart Lane, but on the road we were as soft as putty. And that's always been stuck in the back of my mind. Is that the way the present team is as well? You know, and I'm not saying the 60s team lacked that character or lacked passion for the club, but they couldn't win. If I got a draw on an away game, that was a win for me. I rarely saw them win. I saw them win a couple of times.
Yeah.
But mostly it was either a defeat or a draw. And I saw them get some hammerings at Villa Park. So, you know, it's a psychology of the club. Moving ground doesn't seem to have shifted it. Changing teams every time. It seems to be inherited from one side to the next. There's a little bit of a I think they used to call it in World War I, when you ran away from the battle, it was called LMF, low moral fiber. And there's a little bit of that in some of the Spurs players. And it seems to be there regardless what team and what generation we're playing. It is, you know. But that, if we get rid of that, I think we're going to be fine because teams in Liverpool have it.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, Tequila, look, I agree with everything Philip says there. Philip's spot on. And we both, I think you and me together, and a lot of people in chat love listening to Philip talk about football back in the day because he's more experienced than us following Tottenham. I think today's players are pussies.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, without
you get a rugby player, he would give you 110% from start to finish. But you get a footballer, I'm sorry to say, they're pussies.
So do you think is it a bigger societal thing, or do you think it's something to do with the football industry itself? Then, I mean, what about other sports?
I mean, Philip, look, we do rugby watch-alongs, Philip, don't we? Yeah. And we have done. Yeah. Totally different mentality.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I would think it is. I think it's the way the game has evolved. Like back in the 60s, right? When you were playing on muddy pitches with clogs for boots and a ball that would nearly kill you if you headed it, right? You were allowed, in those days, Bobby Smith's speciality in the early 60s was when the ball went to the goalkeeper, you're allowed to charge the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You could shoulder charge the goalie, you could harass him to get rid of the ball. And one of the most famous incidents of that came about this is slightly off topic, but it's really part of what we're talking about. First time Spurs were in Europe against Górnik Zabrze in 1962. We lost the first leg 2 or 3-0 away from Poland, right? And they're all over us. It was our first game in Europe ever, I think, right? Bobby Smith went up to the goalkeeper at the end of the final whistle. He put his finger up to your man's nose. He says, London, you'll get yours in London. The poor goalie was scared stiff. First 5 minutes of the game, Bobby Smith passed him in the back of the net with a shoulder charge. Spurs win the match 8-1. But you can't, there's no contact allowed in sport anymore. There's no physicality. Even look at a goalkeeper and it's a free kick. You know, so a lot of that has changed. The players of the 60s and 70s would not last 5 minutes in today's climate where you're not allowed to touch anybody.
No. I mean, Philip, look, and Tequila, look, you get players back in the day, Alan Shearer, a rough and tumble striker, wasn't he, Tequila, back in the day? And
Andy Gray.
Oh, yeah, extremely physical players.
Gary Lineker. All right, always, everyone thought he was Mr. Nice Guy, but you want him in the team, in your 6-yard box. There's your man. I just don't know.
He was never booked in his entire career.
No, wasn't.
There is something that Ange said in his press conference of Arsenal, and it really stuck out to me, and not that many people seem to kind of pick up on it, or they were too busy being angry like I was. But he said that he more or less confirmed that he wishes that the rest of his team had the same mentality as Romero. He more or less came out and said that.
He said that. He said it's a pity a few more of them don't like him.
Exactly. And that's quite telling, isn't it? That he said, okay, so Romero, that he is more or less saying, roundabout and using different words, but he's more or less saying, yeah, my players are not that strong mentally.
And
that's
then
what it's more or less saying.
Carrying forward to last night, where he loses the rag for the first time.
Yeah, definitely.
Saying that on Monday was a precursor for what he did last night. You can see it coming. He was trying to get something across to the players. It didn't work, so I'm going to let you have it, lads.
Yeah. Did you hear what he was saying though, Philip and Tequila on the touchline?
What?
It was stop fucking passing the ball
Passing
back.
it backwards. Yeah.
And you could see Papa Sarr was there. He literally laid into Papa Sarr and Basuma on the touchline. Do your effing job. Stop effing passing back and pass forward. Now, everyone played bad, but we are going to talk about it. It is last night's debacle at the bridge. Talk about battle at the bridge. It was surrender at the bridge.
Of course, the white flag after 5 minutes.
Yeah. Mind you, to be fair, Philip, we have one win there in 38 Premier League games.
Yeah, I know. And we're going to a place with roughly the same attitude.
Yeah.
With the same
terrible record.
Yeah. Of course, Chelsea did win last night to Neil Jackson, and I forget this fella's name, but I think he's a great player for Chelsea. He was outstanding last night. I forget.
Chalaba.
I think he was fantastic. There's the stats. Tequila and Philip. I mean, Tequila. Look, I'll go to Keith first because he watched the game. Philip, I'm not trying to because it's and then I'll go to you first, Philip. The stats. What do you think?
Looking at those stats, you say how many did Spurs win by? We're ahead on every single one of them, as far as I can see. Almost. Hang on, no, are we?
Not
19
for tackles and clearances.
Yeah, we're ahead on passes. We're at touches. Okay. Well, yeah, but that's the other way. By tackles and clearances means we were down there on more than they were down our end.
Yeah.
Corners, we won on corners. Offsides, well, that's okay. Yellow cards, we got a yellow card. 16 fell. Yeah, if stats won games, we won last night. But stats don't win games. Possession doesn't win games.
No,
it's putting the ball in the net and playing like you mean this wins games.
And to be fair, Tequila, we watched the game. Like Philip didn't watch it, and Philip said to me, "Well, it couldn't have been that bad." That was your reaction earlier, wasn't it, when we talked about it? And I'm just glad I'm glad you didn't watch it because of your blood pressure. To be fair, Philip. You know, I nearly jerked it in at halftime. But Tequila, how you can tell, Philip, it was awful, wasn't it?
It was. It was. I couldn't see the passion, and you know what? As well, as soon as we went 1-0 down, not even 2-0, I thought to myself, you know what? I already know that we ain't coming back because you could see the fight just wasn't there from the first minute. And they had an early chance as well, Dermo. And it's when Jackson tries to put it between like Vicario's legs, and it deflects. And
Van de Ven got back,
yeah. And right from there, they should have scored that right away. So already we got off already from right away. We got off, and then from there it was just like, you know, I didn't see the passion and anything like that, and I don't want to blame set pieces because I think it is. I think that Angie's right. It is more than that, but you do start to get the opinion to it's like, how many times is the same thing going to happen before you really have to kind of say, okay, maybe I've got to have a look at this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. Now, this was the team that started last night, Philip. Now, because you didn't watch the game and because you were busy, it's no point like player ratings, but the midfield.
Give them all a 0.
Yeah, the midfield, Philip. Papa Sarr, Basuma. Yeah, but what do you do? Do we do that? Is that what we need to look at in the summer for you? Well, I mean, the two number 6s?
Those two guys were brilliant at the start of the season. They were just superb. What's happened to them? Okay, the long season is nearly over now. We're going to muddle through. The way I've worked out the stats, right? If we get one more win and either Man United or Newcastle lose one more game, we're guaranteed 5th.
Yeah.
That's it, right? But are we going to do that? Do you know something? I'm getting extremely worried about the Burnley game. And up to a fortnight ago, I was only going to bring a calculus to see how many goals we're going to get. Now, Burnley are scrapping for their lives. We're scrapping to get onto the beach. So anything can happen in those matches. So I'm actually not confident we're going to get 5th at the moment.
No. Well, we have to hope that by the time we get to Burnley, they've got nothing to play for.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's it. That's our chance.
Well, that can make a team dangerous as well because They could be scrapping against relegation, and the nerves are up, and it's a good chance to play them. If the pressure's off, they might just play better than they usually do.
It is. Tequila, do you want to go through? They're my play ratings, by the way. So Philip's given them all a -1 or 0. I've got a question to come back to you about in a minute, Philip, for you and Tequila as well. Tequila, do you want to go through your play ratings?
Well, do you think any of them deserve more than the 2? Dermo?
It's your range. You give what you want, Tequila. You give what you want.
The only one that I'm willing to actually kind of let off the hook a little bit is Emerson, not because he was good, but because he's blatantly been playing in the wrong position. So you kind of forgive Emerson. So I'm actually going to give Emerson a 5, which is just the bog standard average. And I'm letting him off the hook.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, no. The front line in particular, I mean, I'll be honest, Dermo and Phil, I can't stand our front line. When I look back to our front lines of Berbatov and Keno and Defoe, and I know you guys have probably got many more older players in your mind as well. And I see what we've got now. I just have little confidence of him. Even Sonny, as great a servant as he's been, I think maybe the time might be up for him. And I hate saying it.
No, that's a very good question. I mean, Philip, is it the right time to sell Son?
It's a tricky one, that, you know, again, it's a knee-jerk reaction to sell him because of a few bad performances near the end of the season, where he was away at the Asian Cup and all this sort of stuff. So I don't think so. I think Sonny is there for at least one more season, but then he's going to be 32, pushing 33. So he's going to be coming towards the end of his usefulness, if you like. But there's one thing I noticed now. This is what I read this there. You can correct me if I'm wrong. The Spurs player with the most attacking touches in the game last night was Lo Celso, and he only came on in the 86th minute. I mean, that's a pretty damning stat if that's the case.
Yeah. I'm just like starring a few comments here to bring up. Look, Philip, why do we, right? You look at that Vicario now and set pieces and corners, Philip. Last night, was it Porro Tequila that had there in front of, at one point, wasn't there? Porro was in front.
Yeah, to stop them. Yeah.
Do you think Philip, do you feel Vicario, is he not getting enough protection, or is it now, is that a thing gone past that? We've gone zonal now.
So. No protection. I mean, I read a comment go through earlier where someone tried it on the Chelsea goalkeeper and the referee told him to go away. But they let the Chelsea players crawl all over Vicario. He's got no protection at all. Absolutely none.
No. But that's my play ratings. Tequila's, Philip's as well. Now, Philip, could you read out Andrew's verdict for me if you can?
It wasn't a great night. We didn't have the mindset that I expect us to have. So that's on me. I've got to take responsibilities for that. Ultimately, I'm the one that's putting them out there and preparing them for it. We were so far off it. I've got to look at myself and see how I'm preparing this team for it. Sorry, it's a bit hard to read some of the font here. Yeah,
I read the font. Sorry.
No, sorry, no, I've got it. We didn't really reach the levels we needed to get a result here tonight. It's fair to say we didn't play anywhere near the levels to get something out of the game, and probably didn't deserve it. Well, that's honesty for you. He's honest. He's not trying to gloss over it and say, "Oh, we were unlucky," or he's not sugarcoating it, is he? No. It's just say we played shit and we got what we deserved.
I don't know. Does he have to look? I don't think he should take responsibility for last night. That was slowly on the players last night for me.
Yeah, you can be sure when he got back in the dressing room, those players knew who was at fault.
He's protecting his players, isn't he, Phil?
Yeah,
he's protecting the players. Yeah, as a good manager does. He's protecting the players, but in reality, I'd say they got the mightiest bollock they ever got in their lives in that dressing room last night.
Now, these is our remaining fixtures. I'll start with you, Tequila. How many points do you think we're going to get out on our last 4 games?
I think the best we can hope for at Liverpool is a draw, because they're kind of out of it as well, really. I mean, they're not going to come out and admit it. Mathematically, they could still obviously win it, but I can't see them being up for it. And also, it seems like Klopp and the Salah stuff, maybe there's actually more turmoil there than we think. So it's not all rosy at Liverpool either. The best we'll get is a draw, but it's not as unlikely as you might think. I don't know why I'm saying that.
Funny, I have the same feeling as well. I think Van Dijk is doubtful for Sunday. That'd be a huge miss for Liverpool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I go maximum 7 points, and I think if we get beaten at Liverpool on Sunday, we'll not beat City. In fact, we might not want to beat City depending on how the league table is. We'll beat Burnley and beat Sheffield United. That's my 6 points.
I think we'll get 6 points, Dermo, with a small chance against a draw against Liverpool. That's what I think.
I think we're going to get. Hello, what happened there?
12?
Sorry.
12?
No, I'm going for 9. I'm actually going for.
Who will be beating then? Liverpool, City, Dermo.
Man City.
Okay.
I'm going for 9 points.
Do you know something? It wouldn't surprise me because they've only ever scored 1 goal at our place and not scored at all in the league. So you never know. You never know.
The only time they've won there is the FA Cup 4th round, wasn't it, Philip?
Right, yeah.
True.
So look, let's see what people in the chat have to say, Philip. But for me, I'm just so glad that game was over last night.
I just wanted to get 5th. I want us to get 5th.
Yeah.
Be sure
if we don't get 5th now, it's going to be. We're all going to be so disappointed if we jump out.
Dreadful.
Yeah. Colin is saying, Philip, the best way to describe it for you is like watching Manchester United play.
True. That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. Big up to Early Doors Football TV. Says big up to Dermot, Philip, and Tequila. Good to see you. Philip, this is a great little channel. It's a really great little channel. I really enjoy watching it. It's fun.
Yeah, I'll plug his channel for him.
Yeah. Did you see the statues that had up Harry Kane's statue the other night? They've done for him.
Whereabouts?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if Early Doors can put it in the chat. But 2 statues. One was done for Harry Kane, and the other one was, I forget who the other one was done for. Harry Kane's statue looked like the Michael Jackson statue that was put outside Fulham's ground. It was done by a drunk man. It was woeful.
Can you what a West Ham fan was doing with a Harry Kane statue? Be like us having one of Jared Bowen or something like that, you know?
Yeah, but
good point.
Very good point. Philip, look, there's a few comments in here, guys. So let's go through them. We've got to see. Van Dijk says, side answer. Can't wait till Sunday. I bet all those set pieces. Philip, set pieces. Is that? Do you think Ange's been too stubborn on the set pieces, not doing the set piece coach, or do you think we have to trust him what he says?
I think he's protecting his coaching staff there. He was protecting the players early. Now he's protecting. To me, we got to get. Remember when under Conte we had a specialized set piece guy in there.
Yeah,
and we were pretty good on them, mostly attacking set pieces. But you get someone in that can organize that defense. I mean, ditch that zonal marking crap. It doesn't work. We can't operate it, and the longer we keep it going, the more goals we're going to concede.
Yeah,
if you're man marking, at least you can push the man out of the way or get in his way. But like the goal against Havertz's goal on Sunday, no one Spurs player jumped for that ball. No, you know, I mean, come on,
Phil. If unless I'm mistaken, wasn't it Ange's choice to actually let the set piece coach go at the start of the season?
I don't know.
Am I wrong in saying that?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, possibly. But then again, you know, Jedinak or whatever you call him, he's supposed to be the defensive coordinator there. Do his job. Get those players. It's basic. Rule 1 of football: do not concede from a corner.
Yeah, I mean, Tequila, what do you put it down to? I mean, we've always we've always lit goals. Tottenham has always been great going forward, shit at the back. And
apparently, I heard this earlier on. Apparently, that we are 9 goals away from our record of last year. So if we concede 9 more goals, it will be the same as we had last year. So how do you guys feel about that? Apparently, that's all it is. It's only 9 goals difference. And considering we've got to play Liverpool and City, and we know that they could score on us quite a lot if we have one of those games, we could end up with just the same defensive record as we had last year.
Yeah.
I honestly think Ange's got to tweak it a little bit for those games. You cannot
be
as gung-ho as he's been. Drop the line back a couple of yards. Don't let us get caught out. Especially as we don't have a Doji there with his pace to get back, you know. So it's I think I got to bite the bullet a bit and be a bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? Conservative in the way we play over the next few matches, you know.
And I just go on, Philip. Sorry.
If we take a tanking against Liverpool, it's gonna make it very difficult. It'll give the likes of United and Newcastle hope that they can pip us for 5th, you know.
I want to say massive big up to the under-21s last night who won.
Oh my God, that nearly made up for it. That nearly made up for it.
And they've reached the Premier League Cup final.
Yeah.
And also, guys, let's see. Now we're in May, so let me change my calendar. Sunday week, we're covering the Women's FA Cup final, which is a sellout, by the way, at Wembley. So
it's all sold out, isn't it? That's right.
It's a sellout for what they're selling. It's not a sellout as a 90,000. It's a sellout for the area they're selling.
Well, it's the second all ticket full sellout for the thing. Are you there, Philip? Or was Philip froze? Oh yeah, he just froze. That was all.
They're not selling it. They're not opening up the whole stadium though. Unless they
I just noticed that. The front line. The key like something you're going to go to you, Philip. The front line. What do you reckon?
Sonny is a winger, not a striker. I think that's been proven now. I think that we know that Sonny can't hold the ball up enough to be the main focal point. Obviously, Sonny is one of those players. I think it's been said before. He's kind of a bit of a patchy player, doesn't he? He does these things. He goes through these patches. He'll score a whole bunch, and then he'll be quiet. So maybe next year you want to use him more as a sub. I know that sounds a bit weird, but if we are going to keep him for another year and not cash in, then maybe you reduce the amount of time you bring him on in those last 20 minutes or something. Whether or not he's okay with that could be another story. But I mean, guys, I've never been a big fan of Richarlison. I'm sorry to say, I never have. So when we didn't get a Kane replacement and we ended up spending the money on Johnson instead, I knew we'd struggle to score goals. I believe that because I just don't think Richarlison is a top 4. If that's what we're going for, he's a top 4 striker. I don't feel he is, and we really should have invested the money. But depending on who you want to believe, either Ange knew right from the start that Kane was going, and if that's true, then why did we not prepare a transfer to cover him? I don't know. Or Ange didn't know that he was going, and it was all left to the last minute because they were waiting for Bayern to cough up the money, and there wasn't enough time left to get a replacement. I don't know what to believe.
I think the world and his wife knew that Kane was going because I
would have thought so. Yeah,
I was at the Shakhtar Donetsk friendly the Sunday before the league started, right? And at the end of the match, all the other players went off the pitch. Harry Kane stayed on the pitch on his own walking hands, scored in the crowd. So that was it. He was gone. But the problem there is, it's not just as easy. I want to centre forward. You'll do, and you come. Getting a player in is not easy, and I'd say we tried but didn't succeed. It looks like the guns or the shopping basket's been put out early this season with your man that was at the game on Sunday, the Dutch Mexican guy, Jimenez. So I would say now that they're not going to make the same mistake this summer. There will be a striker in, and pretty quickly.
Yeah. Now, I've got a question here, guys. And I'll go back to yours, Kieran. He says, can you honestly see us getting 4 points from the last 4? Burnley draw and a win against Sheffield United.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Where was it?
I can see 2 wins.
2 wins there, I think.
This is a question here from Sai. No, that's not it. Where is it? I did have it up there. Oh, here, from Paul Pablo. Big up, Paul. Great man. Great to see you in the channel, as always. He wants to ask, and I'll put it out for debate. We can debate this for a bit. Would you trust this manager, Ange, with 200 million war chest in the summer? Who wants to go first on that?
Yeah, I'll go first. Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. He knows what he wants. Yeah, absolutely. Look at this. We've already got Lucas Bergvall coming in from Sweden, right? We've already got this young, I can never remember his name, the young Croatian guy that's out in coming in.
Valevic.
Yeah, we've got Velez coming back on loan. So we've got the squad bolstered for next season already before we buy anybody else. So yeah, I do absolutely trust him because he knows what he wants, he knows what he needs to create the jigsaw. The jigsaw is 3/4 full at the minute. You know, we've moved on a good bit from last season. This time last season we were in the depths of despair, really. So the problem is now because of the last 2 results, we're heading towards that way again. And it's not really that deserved because our league position is so much better. But yeah, I would trust him because I know who he wants. And I think Levy is going to back him because look, we bought last summer, Van der Ven. Brilliant purchase. You know, Burton Johnson will be a very good purchase in time. And then we have the likes of Udogie coming in and loan. So yeah, I would trust Ange with us. I certainly would.
Tequila, I'm just getting some news coming in, Philip.
Okay.
Tequila, do you want to answer that about the would you trust? I think Philip makes very good points.
He does.
What's your point in that?
I'm a little bit more pessimistic than Phil, I think. I would say that we're probably only halfway there. Phil said 3/4. I'm a little bit more pessimistic. I think we're maybe halfway there. And I don't know if 200 million would be enough to buy half a team. I have my doubts. But, I mean, the only issue I've got, and it's a little bit when you look at Conte, is that we ended up buying players for his system, such as Pedro Porro. Now, thank God he'd ended up being a decent right back, but he's a wing back.
Yeah.
And he was bought to be a wing back. And Ndoggy, when we signed him, it was a wing back. Now, they've both ended up being okay, thank God. They've been able to morph into fullbacks. But with Ange, if you buy a lot more players and he ends up going again, are we going to be stuck with players who were bought for Ange's system only and can't adapt? That's my only concern. Yeah. And I don't have an answer for you. Do I trust Ange? I think you have to give him a second season. I think he's done a good job, but I don't think he's done an amazing job. But that's okay. I don't expect amazing jobs. Very few managers in the world have amazing. I think he's a very good manager. I don't know if he's an amazing manager. I haven't made up my mind up yet. 200 million. I would say go for it, but I'm a little bit. I'm not quite as optimistic as Phil with it. I'm not. I do worry that if he's sacked by Christmas, and I know it sounds crazy, but we know Levy can do this. We know he can.
But
if I can just add to that, my own point, the players that we need, right, don't necessarily have to be Ange type players at all. The players that can fit into any system. Like we need a hitman striker, right? He's not too worried about inverted fullbacks. All he wants to go score goals from down the middle. We need another centre back, right? We need a cover at right back or left back, and we need another creative midfielder like Maddison, right?
And we desperately need a striker.
Do we need a number 6 as well, though? Don't we?
We do. That's what I'm saying. We're going to come to that. We need a defensive midfielder, and they will play in any system. It's the wing backs and the wide players that more or less have to adapt to Ange's figures, like the inverted fullbacks and stuff like that, you know. And so I think if he buys them, it's always a risk when the manager goes whether the players will suit the system, but they should be adaptable. They should be adaptable enough, you know, to fit into whatever manager is in charge. And I think you've got to give Ange at least one more season.
Definitely, I agree with that. Yeah.
Look, we know about the investment, which I broke during the week, guys. That the investment is coming to Tottenham. Now, I can't say I know a lot more, and I can't say a lot more than what I know. I will get into trouble, but once we do, we can give it a go. Like we will tell you. But Philip and Tequila, with this investment definitely coming, and the naming rights, I think, being sorted out as well, is all the ducks being put in the right order early so Ange can go out when the transfer opens on day one and get everyone in before pre-season? Is it vital that we get all the players in before pre-season, the first day of pre-season?
He has to. Because last season, if you remember, at the Shakhtar Donetsk friendly, I know everybody was turning and looking up at the West Stand. Mickey van de Ven had just arrived at the ground, and they all knew he was there, and he signed the following day. But that was only a week before the season started. And you need to get them in early July to have them there for the pre-season tour.
Yeah, and also since this will be Ange's second season, you know, he would have already been well in no months in advance what he wanted to do. Like as Phil said, he probably knows exactly who we're going to go for if it's this Mexican striker or whoever. He probably has a much better idea now. There's no bedding in process now, is there? Because obviously last year, you know, Ange came in and then as he had to acclimatise to Tottenham, whereas that's all done now. So hopefully this can all get done quickly. There's an interesting thing in the chat from Ian who's saying that Ange knew from day one that Harry Kane wanted to go. So
he did.
If that's true, then I agree, Phil, that it's not like playing a video game where you just give them the money, but that would still give him nearly the whole transfer window to come up with some striker alternative.
But, you know, you also remember, look what we were last season, right? players are ambitious. They want to play in the competitions where they're highlighted and they can express themselves. We weren't
didn't have
in
Champions League. Yeah,
we weren't in Europe for the first time in Youngs, and that was a deciding factor. I'd say if we'd have been in Europe last season, that 1 point we dropped to let Villa in ahead of us. If we'd have got into Europe, I'd say we might have got more players in last summer. But this summer we're going to be in Europe, all being apart from, unless it's an absolute disaster in the last few games. So I think we will be able to attract the players that want to come to European.
Yeah, it's true. Big up to Karen Keys. He says, love the stream too, guys. Big up. Philip, do you want to say anything to Kieran? It's not lovely to say.
Yeah, appreciate that. Very good. Yeah.
And also, Philip, go on, give the memberships a plug. I know you're the man for the memberships, so
yeah, like
we've got a member show coming. So
member show coming, but we want to get the number. We're trying to be at 2,000 members by the end of the subscribers by the end of the close season. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and go in and pay a subscription. There's a Son membership and a Matters membership, and there's a watch along membership and all. It's all in the group. It's all in the community page there. But we'll be coming up with new graphics and new everything during the summer. We have to get the money to pay Tequila some way. So come on, lads.
If we can get
any quality Jaffa cakes are pretty expensive nowadays.
Can I just say, if we can get 2,000 members, Philip, you and me can retire for life. I think you meant we nearly need to get to 2K, but you said 2,000 members.
Oh, 2,000 subscribers. That's 2,000 subscribers. Yeah.
I think if we get 2,000 subscribers, me and Philip can retire.
Well, that's true.
Think of all the Jaffa cakes you can buy Tequila with that.
You guys can join Joe Lewis, can't you, on his yacht?
No, Philip does that. We do actually have a boat. We have a Thfc Till I Die dinghy that's going to get rolled out from Monaco. We're sending Philip and Carl as our roving reporters when the Monaco Grand Prix on.
Jeez, it'll take us about 4 weeks to roll down there.
Philip, your money for going there, we can only give you €20 for the trip over there. So no big expenses, like no champagne breakfast.
No going to the casino in Monte Carlo then.
We can go with €20.
Yeah, right.
Yes, true. Hypothetical question, guys. Levy calls you. If Levy called me, I said, what the hell? And it says you have 300 million to spend. Who are you buying? I'm going to do this. I'm going to start with the back four. Philip, you start with the midfield, and Tequila will end up with the attackers. I think we need Tucson from Fulham, for me. And also we need covers for the left and right back, and another centre back. Philip, 300 million. Who are you buying for the midfield?
Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
I would like to see someone like, what you call him? Oh God, I can never think of these guys' names. No, it escapes me. He plays for. Who's he play for again? No, I'll stick with Gallagher at the minute. There's another one I just can't think of his name at the moment.
Right, is that all? Just two
players? Yeah, I'm trying to think of a number 6.
Yeah,
I'd say Gallagher to be more creative about a number 6 player as
Tucson?
Well. He's a centre back, isn't he?
We'll put Romero there as a number 6.
We could move Romero forward, all right, because that has been suggested. That's what's going to happen. But, we'll see.
Just before we get to you, Tequila, we'll have some news. Dusan Vlahovic to Spurs is hitting a rocky road due to Tottenham looking like to be missing out on Champions League qualification. But it's not all doom and gloom. The Lily Whites are as fresh talks with Jonathan David and Santiago Gimenez are set to take place next week. So that's the latest. That
backs up my thing about players wanting Champions League.
It does, really. Tequila, front tree.
Well, that took the wind out of my sails. I was about to say Vlahovic.
Sorry.
Before you said that,
I was doing that.
I was trying to think of realistic targets, right? Because I could sit here and say Mbappe and make a joke of it, but no. I mean, okay, so Vlahovic would be, I think, a very good, or someone like Isak. But Isak, I think, is a really great player. I can't see Newcastle ever selling him to us, but if we gave him enough money, I mean, who knows? But Isak, I think, would be a great signing for us. Yeah. And Archie Gray from Leeds, I think he's a really good signing. I'm so disappointed that we missed out on Kudos, who went to West Ham. That was a big miss. And also Diaby, who went to Villa Those two players were gettable last year for us, guys. We could have got them. So I would have said Diaby, Kudos, or those Kudos more of a midfielder than a forward. Would you say?
Yeah, I would say. Look, Ian saying name, please, not positions. I think that was more at me than you guys.
I'll tell you, Paqueta from West Ham wouldn't be a bad one either.
I wouldn't mind about Tottenham, actually, to be fair, Philip. I quite like him.
Yeah.
Not Tony Com. I've seen what Com's written. Not Tony.
No, I don't want Tony. No.
He says Toussaint's on the free. Delete Varane, Gallagher, Xavi, saying Tony, and Timo. I don't. Out of that lot, I've been Toussaint, Rian, Delete, Xavi, and Timo for me. Philip,
Delete would be a good centre back, all right. Yeah.
Ian said Paulinho. I think he's a very good player, but I think at his age, I don't think Liverpool will pay the money required because of his age.
No.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Philip?
Oh God! You can be sure now. If the word's out, the Tottenham have a war chest to spend. Every single agent in the country will be putting out rumours after his client. We're going to be linked with about 300 players before we actually sign anybody. You know.
Now, look, does Cullen make a point here, guys? That look, Ivan Toney has a bad rap. I don't want him at Tottenham either. You, me, been pretty agreement on that, haven't we, Philip, all the way along?
Yeah.
But he is a 25-goal season striker who's got Premier League experience.
You can always bet on him to score, that's for sure.
Yeah, but do you sort of put other players have had bad reps before, Philip? Sorry, what?
But he's looking for 250. I said you can bet on him to score. He's looking for 200. When you have to repeat them, they're not very good, are they? He's 250 grand a week. He's looking for. No one's going to pay that.
Yeah, and also like I said for Paulinho, he's 28, isn't he? 29.
Yeah.
So and Levy, we know. I mean, I'm not gonna bash Levy that much at the moment, but it makes sense, and I would agree with Steve. You buy players who are 23, 24, so that if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, you can get some of your money back, and that's just common sense. If we sign Tony in as a dud, I'm not saying. There's not a big chance he would be a dud because he is such a good striker. But let's say he falls out with somebody or he doesn't get on or whatever, and you've got to shift him out. You're not going to get much. You're not going to get anywhere near your money back. And I understand that part of Levy. That's all I understand. But I understand that part of why he does it. Yeah,
I'm going to read out what I read out the other night, guys, just to refresh people's memory. Now, this is what I got given. Investment income to Tottenham. Meeting have taken place with multiple investors, and the deal with the current unknown investor is not far from being completed. Many sources are trying to find out more information, but NDAs are blocking any process, which I had to agree to on this. In doing so, Daniel will announce the deal once and once it's been finalised. Naming rights. Now, we know it's probably an American company, Philip, but can't say who we think it is. Mm-hmm. But do the two have to be linked, do you think? Does the investment and the naming rights linked, or can they come in the two separate? Two separate?
Totally separate. It's better if they're separate. Because if one agreement goes tits up, at least the other one's still in place. Whereas if the two of them are together and they both fall, well, there's a problem, then you lose both of them. But at least separately, at least you know one of them's going to stay. So no, it has to be separate.
If you are going for naming rights, Philip, are you more looking at a company like Amazon or somebody like that, Philip?
Oh, it has to be, yeah. I mean, who else has got 25 million a year stuck in the back pocket? You know, yes, it's got to be multinational with huge profits, and also that operates in worldwide because they'll want their name going out everywhere.
And if that's the case, then anyone who invents in, guys, they're going to want their money back, aren't they? They're going to want their investment to pay off. So is it then, does that heap more pressure on Ange then to get it right? If somebody comes in, say, invests 500 million, say.
No, not really. Because what'll happen? Sorry, Thierry, you go first on that one. But.
Well, do you think maybe the kind of company he's going to invest is going to be somebody who's also big with their NFL as well? So a company who maybe a company who sponsors obviously maybe an NFL team, I'm not big into NF, so I couldn't tell you who those sponsors are. But maybe they'll be the kind of company you'd be looking to do something with Spurs, considering that they host the NFL games. So,
well, I mean, there is a fair old crossover. The guy that owns Fulham owns Jacksonville, whatever you call them.
Yeah, he owns a wrestling company as well, Phil.
He's the team in America as well. So there is quite a. But I don't think that the naming rights is going to put pressure on the manager. I think that's fair. That you put your name on the
no,
stage.
it's not the naming rights. I was on about, Phil. Coming
to that, the other thing, the investment. I don't think. Okay, you invest your money, you allow the management structure to remain. It may put pressure on them if things aren't going the way they want after a season or two. Yeah, maybe. But there's going to be a honeymoon period. They're going to allow things. They're not going to go chucking their weight around too quickly. But let's face it, if they're putting in the type of money we hear they're putting in, the players we should be bringing in will be a level above some of the ones we have at the moment. And there shouldn't be any problem.
I mean, how important is investment in the clubs now? We know that they're changing the rules in the Premier League, guys, with the profit rules and the FFP rules. We know that's going to be changed. Is it now a fact that people looking at Spurs thinking, do you know what? They've done it right. That's the blueprint and how to run a football club.
Well, I mean, one of the last ones is going to be done for FFP, that's for sure. There are certain things that run about Tottenham that other clubs would take a notion of and do exactly the opposite. Because Daniel Levy has been probably instrumental in the reason why we haven't won trophies in the last few years by not putting his hand in his pocket when he should. But now hopefully he's learned his lesson there now. And certainly if there's a big investment into the club, there is no excuse for us not buying the players that we need to move us up to the next level. So yes and no. There's some things they'll look at and other things they'll avoid.
Phil, I've got a question if you don't mind. Saying about Ange being the one who's going to get this investment, playing devil's advocate a little bit, if you were going to decide to put money behind a manager, wouldn't you have chosen one of these quote-unquote win-now managers, like a Conte, like a Mourinho, to get you those results, rather than Ange, who is not the win-now manager, he's more of a quote-unquote project manager, isn't he, right? That's how it's being discussed.
I win now with Celtic. Okay,
that's true, but they were the big boys, weren't they?
Yeah, Celtic, the Scottish League champion. But no, I think if you've got I hope whoever isn't one of these interfering types. Like if it's going to be a Manchester United type situation with a 25% stake, right? Then Daniel Levy or Joe Lewis or whoever's controlling his shares is still going to have the biggest say there. So I would hope that whoever comes in, it becomes a sort of a silent partner for a while and doesn't go rocking the boat and say, oh, yeah, I want him out. I want Mourinho back. Can you imagine the furore at Tottenham? If some boy brings back Mourinho, there'll be war.
No, that would never happen.
All right, a question to you two then. If somebody came into Daniel, right, and said, right, I want to buy the footballing side and have it, Jim Ratcliffe's over the footballing side at Old Trafford, right?
Right.
Would you be happy? It's a yes or no question. Would you be happy with that arrangement at Tottenham?
Tequila, you go on that one.
I would have to know just if Levy was 100% hands off, or is it more just delegation?
No, hands off.
Totally hands off.
Yeah, he looks after the business side, and the new man that's come in, he looks after the footballing side.
Then I think that would be fine because Levy, there's no denying that he's a great businessman, and on the financial side, you can't deny it. What he's done for raising the profile of our club. You got to remember back when I started watching, which obviously was a bit later than you guys, but I started watching when Stephen Carr was our right back, and we were lucky to finish 10th, 11th, 12th. And getting into any kind of Europe, let alone the Champions League. So you can't deny that he's raised the profile in all those ways. It's just on the football stuff. So if he really was willing to say, you know what, I am going to be 100% hands off, then I've got no problem with Enoch staying in power, so to speak, if the football is run by somebody else who cares more about the football.
Yeah.
Philip?
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think Daniel Levy has proved he's leaving the footballing side to one side. He is an excellent businessman, and now he's got this hotel to build at the ground. So it would be an ideal situation for someone to do a Jim Ratcliffe, come in and put your $2.5 billion in or whatever, take complete control over the football side of things, buying players, selling players, or whatever, and let Daniel Levy carry on with the ancillary activities at the club, like the building of the hotel, the rock concerts, the boxing matches, and whatever. And I think that will work very well. Now, going back to the original point, where you say, would that boy want his own manager? It is possible. If someone comes in that situation, controlling the football, he might say, I don't like Ange. I hope that doesn't happen. And bringing in a win now manager, but those win now managers are very few and far between.
And they haven't worked, Philip, in the past, either. You know that as well as I do.
It didn't work with Mourinho. So you'd hope that whoever comes in will say, listen, we'll let this sit for a while, see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, if there's no trophies in 1-2 years, then maybe we'll go for a change. But let things sit the way they are for now anyway.
You got to remember...
Sorry, go on, Tequila. No, go on, Tequila. You go ahead. Okay. Then I'll bring in a bit of breaking news I've got.
Well, you got to remember, guys, obviously when ENIC came in themselves, George Graham was the manager. And how long did he last before they said, no, we'll go with Glenn Hoddle? Now, was that a way to get the fans on side? Maybe. Yeah. Maybe so. But definitely played a part, didn't it, Phil? Getting the fans on the side. But yeah, whenever they get the investments, like Jim Ratcliffe, I don't think that Ten Hag's going to be manager next year. I think he's going to have his own man in. I think that's just what happens more often than not.
I think so. Now, I've got a bit of breaking news on the investment side of it, Philip. I've just dropped a few minutes from one of our sources, Philip, who's now woken up from his hibernation. He went to sleep for the whole season. Now he's woken up because the summer's nearly here. And he said, I've been told one investor has walked away from talks. That was an American one, apparently. So whatever happens,
this isn't naming rights now. This is investing.
Yeah, but a deal is expected to be completed in the coming weeks or months
or years.
No, it has to be done before the start of next season, Philip.
Sorry, I've just been flippant there, you know.
I know you've been flippant, but how does that make you feel with that little bit of news I just got given? Does that sort of worry you, or does you think, do you know what, it will happen?
Yeah, hopefully it will happen. Yeah, I mean, it's there's no smoke without fire. There's obviously something going on, right? But I just hope that it's an ideological fit, because I always go back to the thing. If it's an Arab investor, right, which is they're the countries that seem to have the money, the oil-rich countries, right?
Yeah.
It just seems a very strange fit. Now, I'm not being anti anything here. That they would want to invest what is regarded very heavily as a Jewish club.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, so it would be a fantastic thing if it happened, because it would show they can work together. It'd be some people out in the Middle East wouldn't take note of that. You know, so it'd be a good thing. It'd be a very good thing.
Hypothetically, is that where you're going? Hypothetically,
well, there is one country I don't want to come near Tottenham. I think we all know who that is, but they're in Newcastle anyway, so they're hardly coming to us.
Yeah. Tequila, look, do you agree with Philip what he's saying? Oh, what's you think? What do you want from that? What do you want from the investment? And do you want a Manchester United type scenario at Tottenham, or do you want just come in? I've bought some shares of whoever, and there's extra money for you, Ange, and leave you run it all.
I don't think I want Levy to run it all, just because 24 years. I think I've had my fill of that. I think he's done well on certain things, but on the football stuff, I mean, one trophy. Ever since I've been watching Spurs, I've only ever seen us win 2 trophies. That was, and both of them have been League Cups. That's my entire fandom of Spurs. 2 League Cups since I was watching them.
It's shocking.
So it is, and I think Levy and ENIC have had their time. They can easily ride off into the sunset, make hundreds percent and whatever their investment was. I'd like to see a whole new thing personally, but I also take into account the people who say the grass isn't always greener, and I also take into account that there could be worse owners. But sometimes you have to take it. You have to take a chance, don't you? And I think you can say that ENIC's had a fair run of the ball, and they haven't delivered football wise for us, have they? So time to move on.
It is. Also got a bit of transfer news, guys, as well. There's also a 15% chance of Tottenham going after Jota this summer. It could happen, but I would be surprised. My source says he'd be surprised if they don't. And that's all.
Celtic Jota, not the one that's at Liverpool.
Yeah, and that's the question. Robert Ingram.
Yeah, he's mentioned that, hasn't he?
Big up, Robert. It says chances on Jota for next season. Real price, goals and assists at Celtic. Not playing much now. Well, you wanted the question. I asked the question, and there's your answer. So I hope that pleased you. But big up, Mr. Robert Ingram. Hope you're doing well. Please hit the like button, subscription button, notification bell, and pick up your memberships. If you don't, Philip the Monk Kinahan will be around seeing you in the next day.
He'll come for you.
Yeah, he will. Philip is like the Liam Neeson of the THFC world.
Actually, just when I mentioned Liam Neeson there's a good film on Netflix called In the Land of Saints and Sinners with Liam Neeson. It's very good. It's set in Ireland. Very good.
Colin says, how would it look if Arab club took over a Jewish club? And then he said, agree, Philip.
Yeah, so we'll cover that,
yeah. Philip, do you want to answer this one? Can you read this question? My throat's starting to kill me, Philip.
Pablo saying, can you ask a question with hindsight? If you were Conte or Ange, knowing what you know now, which manager would you choose now? I suppose you'd have to choose Conte, because if you didn't know either, you think, oh God, that guy's won everything. Ange's only won the Scottish League with Celtic. But how wrong we would have been if we picked him, So purely on reputation, I'd probably go for Conte.
Conte. Tequila?
If I knew that this investment was coming, right, I would choose Conte, just because the biggest thing about him that we always said is that he needs these ready-made players. And without all this money and these ready-made players, right, he can't do what he did. And that's why I think it didn't work at Tottenham, because the quality of players weren't there for that. Whereas Ange is much more of a moulder of players, isn't he?
Yeah.
So maybe if I knew the investment was coming, the 300 million, then I'd probably trust Conte more to spend it to create something, even if it only lasted 1 year, because Conte only stays, he wins, then he leaves. So that would be Conte. But only investment, only with the investment.
I'm going to disagree with the Perry totally and go with Ange. And that's that.
I was saying, Conte, you didn't know what Conte was like when he came to Tottenham. You still go for Ange as an unproven chance. Yeah, I suppose.
Neil, do you want to read this out, Philip? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Neil is saying it would look like a joint business, just like Levy and Enoch are invested in is non-EPL sides. It's business, and there is no place for outside issues impacting a football club. Well, think about this: we have a lot of outside issues on the football. We have a lot of revenue streams that aren't anything to do with football, And ENS is saying, what's that, 50 or 15?
15% chance because of the Jota thing.
Yeah.
Now,
one thing, just go back to last night. One thing with the positive I saw, although he didn't get on the game, was it was nice to see Mikey Moore on the bench for Tottenham.
Yeah, it was. It really was. This one here, sorry.
I think we all know Ange's a dead man walking. We have to face it. The team, they look terrified. Colin, don't agree with that. Yeah. Don't agree with that at all.
I don't
agree with that. That's a knee-jerk reaction. Please give Ange a chance. The team do not look terrified. They just look disinterested, not terrified.
What I would say to Colin is that I understand why he's thinking that way, because we've done this circle so many times. I can understand why he's thinking that way, because he's thinking, oh, this is the start of the Ange out brigade, which Dermo and Phil, I mean, I don't use social media that much, especially Twitter and everything. But once I saw what was going on, I switched that thing right off. But it started. The Ange out stuff is a thing now. It started, and it's building with every loss. So I can see why Colin is probably fearing for that, because we've all seen this thing start, and we all know what the end thing always is, which is always the manager going. I hope it's not true this time, but I understand why he's feeling that way.
Yeah. I'll just say one thing, Colin. We're 5th in the league, not 15th.
Yeah. Look, how many times, guys, do we have to go down the same road again and again and again and again?
We've got to stick with the guy. Stick with the guy until we don't stick. We can't stick with him any longer.
Players didn't play under Poch. Poch gets the sacked. Players got Mourinho the sack. Players got Nuno. The Gardenine got himself sacked because he was shy. To be fair, him and Christian Gross actually share one thing for me, but they were both shit managers. Conte thought he was doing us a favour by coming to Tottenham. So he had no interest. So where everyone's entitled to their opinion, everyone's entitled to how they want to support Spurs, how they want to think about Spurs. I do not agree with that 100%. Ange has to be given a chance. It's getting beyond the joke, this now. And are we going to do this with every manager? No manager has remained at Tottenham, guys, for a whole season since Poch.
That's crazy, isn't it?
If we bring in the players that we think we need this summer, right? And we have a pretty much the jigsaw is nearly complete. Like, it's never completely complete. There's always going to be something you're missing. And Ange does not deliver next season. Then that comment from Colin, yeah, fair enough. But at the moment, it's way, way too early in the procedure to be talking about changing.
But do you agree with him here, guys, that he says, yes, we all want Ange to succeed, but he has to stop the zonal marking?
I'd agree with that. We don't need zonal marking. To me, is an absolute disaster, and it should. It's a small tweak of the system to go back to man for man. It's not changing the style of football. It's just changing how we mark up at corners.
Yeah, right. I've got some more news.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to start. I want to get the okay if I can use that or not. But guys, it is match week 2036. We're going to go through the Premier League game, so we'll want your predictions in the chat as well, guys. So get involved in it as well. We're going for Everton versus Luton. Philip, you probably got the game on. So what's the latest from there at the moment?
It's actually Luton versus Everton. It's at Luton. Luton are pressing early doors. 13 minutes gone now. And Luton are the better team. They had a couple of half chances, but no goals as yet.
So who are you going for to win this? I know it's the wrong way around.
I'm going for Luton to win it. I think Everton are safe now.
All right, Tequila, what's your score for this one?
I think Everton are going to win this one. I've got to be honest.
Yeah. Now, Philip, we talked a bit now. The big news I can use that Ange was shortlisted for the Liverpool job before they went with Slot. Okay. He's also a wanted man as a potential replacement for Manchester United if Ten Hag is relieved of his position. Also, Pep has put his name forward as a potential successor once he leaves Manchester City.
Damn.
Hang on, potential successor where?
For Manchester City, once Pep leaves.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought you said Pep has put his name forward for someone. Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, obviously, other clubs and their fans realise that he's doing a good job. You know, taking over a club that didn't know where it was, and okay, according to some people, we still don't. But we've made huge progress this time last year, and like those clubs that are looking for Ange, rock on, just jog on, and get somebody else.
Yeah. Now, guys, with this in that, Everton, Tequila, do you want to read this out? And then we get Philip, your point of view on this, Philip, then.
Well, the Everton facing administration.
Yeah,
Everton facing administration, point deductions could be put in place next season. They will have to sell to avoid further punishment. Everton are close to bankruptcy and are preparing to sell key assets in the summer. Pickford, Braithwaite, Onana, and DCL could all be sold to help ease financial pressure on the club. Interesting.
Philip?
Did you take any of them, Phil?
Just before I comment on that, there's a VAR incident at Luton where an Everton player went down under a challenge in the penalty area. It looks like his ankle was clipped, but it looks the VAR said no penalty, and to me that looks like a penalty. He's definitely clipped him. He stood on his foot. Let me just see now if they made a final decision on it yet. No penalty. VAR strikes again. Anyway, back to Everton. I mean, Everton's biggest problem is if they go into administration before the end of the season, that's them definitely relegated. They lose 10 points. So they're trying to push it on to next season where they'll be starting with a minus figure, whatever they are, which is probably recoverable. But now it'd be fatal if they got hit with a 10-pointer now, which is standard procedure. If you go into administration, it's an automatic 10-point deduction, non-appealable. So it's tough on them, but they're apparently the takeover bid by the American group is on the verge of collapse. And that's probably why it has been brought to a head.
Yeah. Any players, Keela? Philip, would you pick Pickford, Braithwaite, Onana, DCL? I tell you who I might. Calvin Lewin. I would love him at Tottenham.
No, I wouldn't take him, Dermo. He's got a lot of off the field issues.
Oh, has he?
Not stuff like that. It's more like he cares a lot about like his modelling and stuff like that. I'm not sure how focused he's on football. If you hear the Everton fans about him, they recognise he's one of their best players. If not their best player, but he's he's too busy doing other things. I don't know if we'd want that, especially in London, dude. I don't know if we'd want that.
I think Brathwaite and Onana could do a job for us.
Onana would be a decent option for a number 6, I think.
Yeah.
Well, there could be a fire sale at Everton in the summer anyway, if this administration thing is threatening.
It is. So look, so you go. What was your score prediction then for Luton game, Philip? What was your?
I'll go 1-0 to Luton. 1-0 to
Tequila.
I've just seen Ian put in the score, so I'll change my 2-1 to Everton.
2-1 to Everton. There you go.
Yeah.
Now these are the Saturday games because Arsenal at home to Bournemouth, 12:30 on TNT Sports. 3 o'clock games: Brentford versus Fulham, Burnley versus Newcastle, Sheffield United versus Forest. Philip, score predictions and who's going to win out of these 4 games? So Arsenal, Bournemouth.
Oh, you have to say Arsenal, unfortunately. Probably 3 or 4-0. Okay. Brentford and Fulham 1-1 draw.
Mm-hmm.
Burnley and Newcastle 2-0 to Newcastle, and Sheffield United and Forest 1-1 draw.
Okay, Tequila, what are you going for?
Unfortunately, I'm going with Arsenal, probably 4 or 5 over Bournemouth, and I think Fulham, Brentford probably 2-2 draw. I think West Ham, Newcastle, that'll be another draw, 1-1 draw. I think there, and I think United will beat Forest. I think United will win 2-0.
That's Sheffield United,
yeah. Even though they've got nothing to play for, I just think they will. No pressure.
Hang on. Okay, fine. I just got news coming in completely. It's just coming in now. I'm going for Bournemouth to win 1-0 against Arsenal.
Keep dreaming, mate.
It can happen. It can happen.
Keep the dream alive.
Yeah, that's it. Fulham, I think that's going to be a 1-1 draw. I think Newcastle going to be Burnley 4-0. And I think Sheffield United and Forest will be a 1-1 draw. Now, guys, we have this at 5:30. I think there's only one winner here, and I think we're all going to agree on this.
3-0 to City.
Yeah. Tequila?
5-0. I think you're going to smash them, dude.
I'm going 4-0. So that's the Wolves. That's the Wolves, by the way. 4-0 for Wolves.
Oh, yeah.
No, 4-0 Man City. Now these are our Sunday games. We've got Brighton at home to Villa. We've got Chelsea at home to West Ham, and then we've got Liverpool against. We haven't won up there since the Titanic sunk. Tottenham. Brighton against Villa. If Villa win this game, guys, it's Champions League over.
Yeah. It's over anyway, don't it?
Yeah, it's already over. Yeah.
I don't know. Villa will have a bit of a hangover from last night where they got well thumped by Olympiacos. I'd say a 1-1 draw because neither Brighton are so unpredictable. You don't know what team's going to turn up. So I'd say 1 each there. Tottenham and Liverpool. Oh God. I'm going to be very optimistic and go for a 1-1 draw. And Chelsea versus West Ham. Do I have to give a score prediction on that one?
You do, yeah.
The Chelsea.
Well, the Chelsea fans last night I'm wondering what to do because they all think Chelsea was formed in 2003, so they probably don't remember. Tequila, where are you going for them 3 games?
Yeah, I think Villa's going to beat Brighton 2-1, and I'm going to be optimistic as well, Phil. Alongside Phil, I think that there's a chance for a 1-1 at Anfield. I don't know how, but they'll miss tons of chances, and we'll get a sneaky goal, and it'll be a 1-1.
There's another VAR review at Luton here for a foul on Everton. He's absolutely rugby tackled an Everton player on the edge of the box here. Will we see what he's given? That's got to be a penalty. Arm around the waist just pulls him down.
Right.
Absolutely. We're not even near the ball. Good God, man.
Right, I've got more breaking news for you guys. This is it's all kicking off tonight on this show. Now, the investment side of it. This is what's come to me. The investment news as an investment and naming rights is in one package.
Penalty to Everton.
Right. It's in one package, Philip and Tequila.
Right.
And Daniel has been talking to massive companies. So make that of what you will.
When you say a package deal, Dermo, do you mean naming rights and investment from the same?
Yeah, in one thing.
Surprised to hear that. Very surprised to hear that. It must be an absolutely massive company that can afford that sort of money.
So who's the company then, guys? Let's try to work it out a little bit.
Well, is it? Do you know what part of the world they're from?
No.
Well, it's got to be either Emirates Airlines or someone like that from the east, or it's got to be either Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon from America, someone like that.
I say so.
I could see someone like Google. I could see somebody like Google.
There you go. That's for you.
Google
Trump
Stadium.
International.
Google Stadium. Trump International. Wow.
I wouldn't take a check from them, that's for sure.
Yeah. And also, guys, Bayern Munich have turned their attention to the Premier League after Ralf Rangnick has turned them down. They want a Pep return. So this is where the Pep thing is. They want Pep to go back to Bayern Munich. So, however, 4 other names are on the list: Erik ten Hag, De Zerbi of Brighton, Poch of Chelsea, and Ange of Spurs is on Bayern Munich's shortlist.
My score prediction just went up in smoke. 1-0 to Everton.
Yeah, Ian says there. Tequila, did you give your score predictions for the Sunday games?
Chelsea, West Ham, Chelsea 2-1, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
going for 2-0 to Villa. I'm going for 1-0 to West Ham. And I'm going for a 1-1 draw with us against Liverpool.
We've all put a 1-1 draw, by the way. Look how optimistic we're being.
I've been very optimistic. And also Monday night, it's Crystal Palace at home to Manchester United.
I'd take Palace to win. 1-0 to Palace.
Yeah,
2-0 Palace. 2-0 to Palace.
I'm going for 4-0 Palace. So there you go. We're all optimistic for Crystal Palace.
Colm's enjoying that, I'm sure, aren't you, Colm?
Yeah, with that Philip on the drums, doing the drumming to take it all. What song did they play at Palace?
Glad all over.
That's it.
I wouldn't mind, but Dave Clark recorded that song. That was known as the Tottenham sound. Dave Clark was from Tottenham. The Palace have nicked the song.
Yeah. Now, here's the Premier League, Philip. This and Tequila. This is the top 6. Right. Who's going to win the league?
City.
City, yeah. City.
Do you think that's how the top 6 is going to end off at the end of the season, apart from the top 2?
Could be Newcastle could get ahead of United, possibly.
Yeah. Could Villa get ahead of Liverpool?
No.
Is there a chance?
No.
Not a hope.
The way Liverpool playing at the moment and the way Villa are playing, is there a chance?
No.
No, they've got 10. They've technically got, because they've got goal difference as well. They've got technically 10 points.
Well, Villa can score. Villa get 76.
Yeah,
Liverpool will need to lose all last 3 matches.
Could happen. And then this is the bottom 3. Neil's at it again. This is the bottom 6 as well, Philip. Now, Sheffield United are relegated, but that's yet to be confirmed. I love that when the Premier League put that out.
Anyone bottom 4.
Everton are safe though, aren't they?
Yeah, Brentford are safe as well. Got on goal difference.
Just Forest and Luton.
So, Luton. If Luton lose tonight, I fear for them.
Yeah, I know. Look, I'm going for Sheffield United, Burnley, Forest. They're my 3 to go down. Philip, who's your 3 to go down?
I think I'm going to go purely on form. I think Forest, Luton, and Sheffield United. I think Burnley will get away with it.
Yeah. Tequila.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing as Phil. I actually think Burnley are just about going to get out of it.
Yeah. Well, look, it is going to be an interesting end to the season, guys. Look. Do we just have to forget yesterday's game and move on now? Is that the thing now?
Well, look, we've gone 3 defeats on the trot. I don't think Ange's ever done 4 in his career. No. So, unfortunately, going to Liverpool is not exactly all-inspiring to avoid that bad record.
No.
So listen, we just have to keep the faith. I mean, we get fifth in the league. We regroup during the summer. We're in Europe next season, and I think the future's still very bright. I mean, I think most of us would have taken fifth at the start of the season. So
there's your new name now, Philip, from Neil.
The regulator.
Yeah, right. Thanks, Neil.
Right. But that's it. That's Newsbeat, guys, for a Friday evening. It's the end of another week, but we are back tomorrow with some stuff. Are we doing a podcast tomorrow night, Mr. Brady?
Oh God, I don't know, Dermot. I'm all right for the afternoon. I don't know about the evening yet now, to be honest.
Well, if you can, look, we'll work stuff now. If you're not around, then Tequila will come on. We do the Clock podcast where we will do our predicted lineup. We're going to do it all into one show, guys, for you. Philip, what do you want to see from Tottenham on Sunday?
3 points. Simple as that. If we can, can you imagine the lifting in spirits on Sunday if we go up to Anfield and beat them? Guarantee ourselves fifth place and win at a ground where we had 2 wins since the Titanic was sank. So that'll be what I want to see. If failing that, I want to see regrouping, hammering Burnley at the match I'm going to be at, and guarantee fifth place. It'd be an awful kick in the teeth now if we lost out on fifth.
And also, please do. Is it? Oh yeah. What was I going to do? Help me out here, Philip. And I've lost. I forgot what I was going to do. Our sponsor. Sorry, plug our sponsor.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Drink up the top there. Have you got the?
You've got to pull up first, Dermo.
Yeah. Hang on. There we go. I've lost my camera, so don't worry. You can still hear me.
Drinkrace.com is the energy drink, and I don't know if you can scan that thing. It's probably a bit small, but if you scan that barcode, that's whatever you call it, get the 10% off your first order and help them to help us to go to higher things. Drinkrace.com. There we go. Put the code in THFC till I die on that. Just scan that thing there, whatever they call it.
There we are.
The QR code.
The QR code, that's what the QPR code.
Yeah. But that is there. Do hit that for 10% off for THFCTID for 10% off. That's it, guys. Thank you so much. If you can do us all a favor, do hit the like button and subscription button. Do leave your comments at the bottom of the screen. Anything you agreed with what we talked about tonight or you've disagreed, let us know. Please do also go over to Double Dome Gaming to give a like and subscribe as well if you can. That is the gaming channel. That is part of the THFC family. Do you need
Can I plug my channel?
Luton just equalised.
Yeah, go on, Tequila. Who are you going to plug, sir?
Oh, I'm just going to plug my Play Pouch. It's gaming channel. It's gaming podcast by mature gamers, and we just talk about stuff, and we're brutally honest about everything. So it's more on the podcast stuff rather than like Let's Plays and everything. That'll be on Dermo and Cole's channel, I think, doing Let's Plays and stuff. So thanks again, guys.
Yeah, I have to say, everyone says well done on your debut, Tequila. Ian says,
thank you, guys.
Great show as ever. Grand job, Tequila. Yeah, brilliant.
Actually, thanks. It's a pleasure doing this broadcast with you. Very well done. Well done, man.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was an enjoyable.
Thank
you.
That
flew by an hour and a half, Philip.
Yeah, I know.
That was fun. It was good stuff.
Yeah. Good. So we are back tomorrow. There's stuff coming on the gaming channel as well. There's a podcast that's going to be pre-recorded and put up there. Then we're back on Sunday, of course, with the watch along. Myself and Mr. Brady, and hopefully Tequila might join us for the watch along as well. And so can Tottenham actually do something that Hasanik never did, which is stay afloat. But on that bombshell, we'll see it tomorrow. Come on, you Spurs in Big Ange. We trust.
Take care, guys.
What's the nearest iceberg?
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, I've got to do this one.
Need some Celine Dion as well playing.
Hang on.
Come on, you Spurs.